Hello, this is Annie with Seed System Solution, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to run a customer statement. To do that, you're going to open your main menu, and you can navigate to your customer. You could do this through a variety of ways, through your menu, customers, selecting or searching for a specific customer, and pressing OK. You can use the Go To box and select a customer, then press the customer button. Or you can just select OK and show your entire customer list. If you're going to run it for a specific customer, you would go into that customer ID number, select that customer, and then you're going to select the statement box. Here you're going to have a variety of options that you need to select. The first is you're going to be your statement date. So this is going to be what date you run your statement as of. Please keep in mind that if any transactions are entered after your statement date, they're not going to be included in your statement, as well as any payment applications that happened after your statement date would not be taken into effect for your early payment discount on the statement. You can enter a due date on your statement, and it would show your due date on your statement. If you have varying due dates, we don't recommend filling this in and just leaving it blank, in which case it would not print on your statement. Then you are going to select your statement options. You have two options. You can use a date range or you can use a year. So if we select date range, we need a start date and an end date. And just like your statement date, please keep in mind that any transactions that fall outside of this date range would not be included. You can include transactions before the start date using the show balance forward option. But any transactions after your end date, again, are not included in your statement. You can also use specific booking year, and then you would select which booking year that you are running the statement for. Again, similar concept as a date range. If the year does not match, it isn't going to show in the statement. You can use the show balance forward to pull in totals from previous transaction years. Your year that prints on the statement might also not match your view totals based on year. If you have cross-applied anything, payment and debit-wise across years. So if you have a 2026 payment that you applied to a 2025 invoice, your totals for your view totals might be slightly different than what prints on a statement because of where your early payment discount would calculate into. Then you have the options for if you are running for all customers, you can show statements that just have a greater than zero balance, a less than zero balance, or an equal to zero balance. So you do need to select the options to include, not the options to omit. If it appears that $0 statements are getting printed, it might be because that customer has a fraction of a penny open on the statements. We try and reduce the option or those getting pulled onto your statement run, but that could be the case if it appears $0 balances are getting pulled, even if your balance is only set to show greater than and less than. Then we have a couple of selection options, and these can be defaulted in system settings, which I'll show you in a few minutes. You can hide your statement detail. That would just print the lines of the transaction, but not what made up that transaction, such as all the booking lines or invoice lines. You can show estimated early payments. For these to calculate when you're entering a payment, you do need to have the year, price type, and booking type and early payment date override, if necessary, filled in order to calculate your estimated early payment discount. We do highly recommend that towards the end of your shipping season, when you've started to apply payments out, you no longer have the show estimated early payment calculation on. So that way your statement that you're sending the customer no longer includes a open balance of estimated, where the customer might think they're going to get a refund that they're not going to get. The show balance forward is going to pull in your balances from outside of your criteria. So anything that happened before your start criteria, these would pull in those balances as a balance line. And then finally, show open bookings can be used while you are still in shipping season. And this is going to bring in those booking totals as well as the current AR transactions, such as your invoices, debit memos, credit memos, checks, and payments. You can select and narrow your department down. So run transactions only within that specific department. You then also have the option to select all customers or current customers. If you select all customers, it is going to run for all customers that have a transaction within your criteria. So depending on the number of customers you have, this process can take a bit of time. Sometimes it is easier to run this on the WebDirect platform, so you can still use your desktop platform while that's running. We do also have a couple of new options here, such as booking types. You can select which booking types you want to run the statement, and it will narrow the transactions to only include those booking types. For this process to work, this does require you only to ship your orders based on one individual booking type. So if you have a customer who has multiple booking types and you're wanting to run a statement, say just for wheat, you need to make sure all of your wheat transactions have a booking type of wheat, as well as your payments, checks, debit memos, credit memos, any of that information that would need to be included on the statement also has a booking type of wheat. If you have overlap, then you would either need to select multiple booking types and run your statement for multiple booking types, or not use this option. But again, you do need to select all of the transactions that would need to pull to the statement to have the matching booking type. And then statement type, we do have two statement type options now. Many of you might not have the pro forma option, but if you are curious or would like us to set up a layout for you, we can. Our pro forma statement does give the transactions in a little bit different of a layout form. So it is more of a summary statement showing what the customer has on order in comparison to what their payments are, but it doesn't break down the individual invoices themselves. The detailed statement is going to be the statement that you've been running, and that is going to break down your transactions based on the individual invoices, payments, checks, credit memos, debit memos, etc. So here is a printout of our new pro forma statement. And that is going to give you, again, your unshipped orders, your shipped orders, payments, and credits, and then an overall account balance based on that. Within your statement, then, you do have the options to print it, or you can send it in an email form. You can also save a PDF. And then our detailed statement. Again, this is what you are all familiar with, but to just show you in the video, I'm going to select all of our same options here. Selecting detailed, and when we select print, it's going to give us a breakdown just slightly different, where we see all of the individual transactions with our invoice numbers that make up our statement. I did select a balance forward on this, so it is calculating in all over in previous transactions. So balance forward does take a little bit longer to run based on your criteria here. And that is how you run a statement. So if you have any additional questions, you can reference our other training videos on our YouTube channel. You can email us at grow@seedsystem.co, or you can register for our free monthly Seeds Support Zoom meetings.